The 15-Point Plan is part of the Win, Make, Give podcast network.
Welcome back to another episode of the 15-Point Plan podcast. We are so thankful to be here today. My name is Ryan Greigg, and I am joined by my co-host, Jacqueline Smith.
Hi, everyone. We are really excited to talk about today's topic. We're going to dive into another one of the 15 points on the 15-Point Plan. And as always, our goal is to help you be healthier, happier, and have more energy using the 15-Point Plan. So today we're going to dive into hobbies, Ryan.
That's right, Jacqueline. Today we're diving into the point that we call hobbies, finding something we look forward to, that we plan or we research daily. And for me, what I think of is what's something not work related? What's something that puts a smile on my face, that gives me joy, that I just do it for the joy? That's how I define a hobby. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I haven't even thought about the definition, although for me, I guess, yeah, it has to be not work related. I tried to make, work pass as a hobby, but Chad, our previous host, laid down the law on that. He said, no, it has to be not work related. So real estate does not count as a hobby for me, but it could maybe if you're not in real estate, you could have the hobby of looking at real estate. For me, I've struggled with having a hobby, Ryan.
Why?
Well, I think I've just been so passionate about my work, and I kind of went all in. And the 15-Point Plan is actually what made me realize, like, I was repeatedly never really getting that point, or very, very seldom was I getting that point. And so I think it was one day Ben was like, "Why do you keep getting 14?" I was like, I don't have a hobby. Or maybe I had a hobby that I couldn't do every day. Like I do like paddle boarding, but I can't do that. I live in the Pacific Northwest. Like I guess I could do it in the rain, but I like sunny, paddle boarding, I should clarify. And then I like hiking, but that, my daily life that doesn't necessarily always allow for that. So I really struggled to find a hobby that I could do every single day that I really liked. And that was something that I could, fall in love with. And that gave me that, I guess, release or break from work and thinking about work all the time. So, I kind of went on a little bit of it was like maybe I was having a midlife crisis or something. I think my husband told me that. There was one time I went through, I was making jewelry. My jewelry was not worth making. And so, but you know what? I found two things that have become really great for my life. And I tried a lot of different things along the way, but one of them is we got chickens. And so my chickens, every day I have to go down there, and now I don't have to go down there. I get to go down there and spend time with my chickens. And what it is I'm outside. And I don't know, it gives me something to focus on. I had to do some research and learn about chickens. And so it became a hobby, and now we get fresh eggs. So that was kind of a fun one. And then I also ended up deciding to get my pilot's license. So, which is a huge undertaking. And that has involved a lot of learning. And so that's a pretty big hobby that I chose. But, I don't know that I ever would have focused on hobbies if it weren't for the 15-Point Plan.
And that's something that we've talked about on previous episodes, is just the fact of having the 15-Point Plan or something like it gives us an awareness. And looking at this going, you know what, I hadn't thought about that. I used to do things that give me joy that were outside of work, but I haven't done that for a while. So it's bringing back that awareness. And with awareness, we can take action. And our last episode, we talked about time. And I think a lot of us in the real estate business or entrepreneurs, we're guilty of this thing, thinking, Jacqueline, my life is based around my business. My identity is maybe based around my business. I don't have time to do the things I love. And what we're learning is the science completely disproves that. But the science behind having a hobby and what that does for your life and what that does for your brain and for your heart is so worth every minute of doing that. and finding those things that give you joy, that you're just doing them for the joy of them, takes us so much farther in life in our businesses now because we have that balance, we have that break. And I've watched you on this journey of becoming a pilot. And in my head, I'm going, how is this possible? How is somebody, I know a little bit about you. I know how high level of a business owner you are, the type of team that you run, the type of relationships that you're in, the parent that you are. And I know nothing about flying a plane. In fact, it freaks me out. But from what I can guess, it's not something that comes with just a couple hours here and there. And I'm wondering, how is such a high performer fitting this into her calendar and into her schedule? So can you tell me, like, just like, how do you do that, and why, what it's doing for you?
Yeah, well, it's the same thing I think that happens when we fit in our health stuff, like we fit in our workouts and we fit in our eating well. It gives us energy that then makes us more productive, right, in our work. So the way that I look at it is I'm not spending my time working out, I'm investing my time working out, and through that
Mm,
investment, I create more productivity, more focus, more positive energy in my life that allows me to accomplish more in less time, and that's how I look at my hobbies. So I no longer look at them as a distraction to my business. I look at them as it's a way that I can focus my brain on something else and it brings me joy. And when you have joy, you show up in a different way and you show up better as a leader and you show up better as a business partner and you're more productive and more passionate because you just have better energy. And
mm,
so to me, these things are investments. Now, of course, I've had to shift and get even more disciplined with my time because it is a big time commitment. And so what I've done is I've just, like you did, you took your calendar, you plan it in, and you schedule around it. I mean, the way I look at it is if I had a listing appointment, every day at the same time, I mean, that wouldn't be a problem. So why can't I
right.
have a flight lesson a few days a
Hmm.
week at the same time and work around that in my schedule? So it's just shifting how I view the hobby. And to me, for my mental health and for my joy and longevity as a leader and business owner, I have to have things that are that are passionate, that I'm passionate about outside of my work. And I love being up in the plane. I mean, no one can call, I mean, they can call me, but I'm not on my
Hmm.
phone. I'm not scrolling
Mhm.
on social media. I am not thinking about problems. I am thinking about, the beauty around me and flying this airplane through the air. So
Yeah.
it causes, me to really turn that off, the work off. And I just think it's really, really, really important for our mental health to have things in your life that make you do that.
I need everybody to just go go back 3 minutes and listen to that again, and then go back 3 minutes and listen to that again. That was an episode right there, Jacqueline. I love how you said you're not spending, you're investing.
Hmm.
We've talked about that in the past. People say, like, Ryan, why do you get up so early? Like how do you have time to meditate and journal? And I look at them straight in the face and I say, how do you have time not to? Every
Hmm.
minute that I spend doing that prepares me for the moments in the day that are going to be hard, that are going to be challenging, that I don't want to do. And I gain time back from the time I invest in the morning doing that. You cemented that down, uh, and you also said, like, it's a different part of our brain. So the cool thing about the brain science behind that is you're actually using different parts of your brain, which keeps you sharp as a whole. Using those different parts of our brain to do things that we love, to fly a plane. My gosh, like, you must be using some major parts of your brain that maybe wouldn't get used otherwise, and then are going to get tired. But you're actually using that muscle, and it's going to keep getting stronger.
Hmm.
And you do these things that give you joy. When we have more joy, you're a better person. Bottom line.
Yeah.
Bottom line is when we do the things that we love and we do things that give us joy, we then show up joyful. And when we
Hmm.
show up joyful, people want to be around us more. We're a better person. We're a better leader. We're a better human, parent, all these things. So that right there makes me think, gosh, I should absolutely be doing things that give me joy, because then I will show up with more joy and I'll just have a better energy all around me. right?
Yeah.
Let's get back to these chickens because I need some chickens, Jacqueline. Like, speaking of joy, I mean, how cool is that? So you've now combined hobbies with health. Like you're getting fresh eggs, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know somebody who has chickens and their son goes out, harvests the eggs, and then he sells them. So now they're combining like hobbies with health, with business, with being outside in nature.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get some chickens this spring because I want to collect my own eggs and be outside and you name them.
Yeah, it's chick season. I do have names for all of my chicks, and everyone laughs at me, my husband included, and makes fun of me because I got a little sign for my chicken coop, and it says "The Chick Inn," and it has the name of all my chickens.
That is so cheesy, Jacqueline, but so good,
I
right?
love
And
it.
look at like that just gave me a serious laugh, which is also one of the 15-point plans. So you're going out to your, like, I think we just realized like that chicken coop probably checks off 5 boxes.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, I need some chickens.
yeah.
That's
It's so funny too because with both of my hobbies, like the flying and the chickens, I mean, there's things that I don't like to do that are related to those. Like I don't like cleaning out the chicken coop. That's not fun. Cleaning out the chicken coop and the chicken poop. And then I also
yeah.
didn't realize when I set out to get my pilot's license that, I'd basically have to become like a meteorologist and a mechanic and all these things. So
Oh,
I haven't
right.
really loved learning all of the technical side of things. I'm like, can I just fly the plane? But apparently they want you to know a little bit more than just how to fly the plane. So but recently, Ryan, we were introduced to this video. It was Huberman Lab and David Goggins, and they talked about this part of your brain that grows when you do things that you don't want to do too. So it's funny because these chicks bring me so much joy, but then there's also, a little bit of that involved. The plane flying brings me a lot of joy, but then there's things
Mm,
about it that, I don't like that I have to do. So when you tie things that you love to things that you maybe have to do that you don't want to do, you're growing actually this other part of your brain that has been linked to longevity.
yeah.
And so that was like very eye opening to me that people that have this part of the brain that's larger, they live longer. And when I heard that, my brain was blown. I thought, oh my gosh, like doing things that you don't want to do. We're talking about hobbies and things we love, but
Right.
sometimes doing things you don't want to do too can have powerful effects on your brain anatomy, and then that grows every time you do it. So I have to clean the chicken coop every week, so I'm growing that part of my brain every time I'm scooping the poop, Ryan. um,
That's right.
and so I just thought that was super fascinating. And so I think that there's so much to how we show up every day. And, you can just show up and go through the motions and check boxes, but are you
Mhm.
showing up with joy, with purpose, with clarity? And I think hobbies and doing things you do want to do and things that you don't want to do, it contributes to a better you overall. So,
100%. 100%. And I know our listeners don't need permission, but hopefully this was that little bit that you just heard and said, you know what? I've always wanted to be a pilot. I've always wanted chickens. I've always wanted to garden. I've always wanted to make jewelry. I'm going to go do it now. I'm going to go do
yeah.
it now because there's so much value and benefit to making us a better person by doing that. Plus, it's kind of fun, right? So
Hmm.
find those things that we like doing that give us joy. You're going to show up as a more joyful person in everything you do. That's sticking with me. And it turns out there's science behind this. It's going to actually make your brain stronger, which actually can make you live longer. There's so many reasons behind doing this. So we'd encourage you. In fact, I would love to hear from our listeners, Jacqueline. Send me a message, Bentley's Old Man on Instagram, or find me on Facebook, Ryan Park Greigg, Jacqueline Ray Smith on Instagram. We want to know what your hobbies are. We want to know what you do for a hobby and what you took away from this episode.
Yeah.
And make sure to
Good.
follow us on other social media platforms as well as check all the other podcasts on the Win Make Give network. And remember, every Wednesday, if you'd like to join into our group, we do a call actually as well, a Zoom call. It's open to everybody, and you can actually join and talk about these subjects live with us every Wednesday at noon PST.
Absolutely. Find us in our Facebook group. It is 15 Point Plan Group on Facebook. We'd love to see you there. And we will catch you next time on the 15 Point Plan podcast. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.